My name's Marta, and on this wonderful Mother's Day here in the UK, I hope you are having a wonderful one. I have a eclectic mix of news for you. So what do I have for you today? Well, the first item on our itinerary is the fact that FreeSync is going to be coming to the Xbox console family, which is pretty damn awesome. We're having some leaks for the performance of the OnePlus 6, a report on how Denuvo DRM affects Final Fantasy 15 on PC, and finally some interesting tweets from Realtek VR which points to Tomb Raider, the originals, being remastered. So let's begin with FreeSync. I've got to say, this is pretty awesome news for anyone who owns an Xbox One S or Xbox One X, as well as vanilla Xbox One as well, and I had hoped for something like this to make its way to both the consoles available at the moment, because, well, why not? Especially with the X pushing potentially higher frame rates based upon the choice that the developers make, whether or not they want to have a higher frame rate mode or a higher resolution mode or both. You know, FreeSync could definitely bring a lot to the table, and obviously as all of these consoles make use of AMD technology, it would make sense. Now, a variable refresh rate tech is finally coming to the Xbox, as Microsoft's Larry Herb and AMD's Antal Tungler announced this in a live stream yesterday. Now I'm going to link this in the description below so you can go check it out for yourself. But basically what's going to happen is that the Xbox One X and S are going to get FreeSync 2 and HDR support. And anyone who's on the Xbox Insider program is going to get an update in the next few days, which is going to basically add the support for these technologies. Now, you might raise your hand and go, but you also said this is going to be coming to the vanilla Xbox One as well. And it is, but it's only going to be the original iteration of FreeSync. So FreeSync version 1 rather than version 2. So this is a small caveat, to be honest. It's still a pretty large improvement, still means that you can move away from locked 30 or locked 60, especially if you have a FreeSync capable monitor or TV. This just unlocks that extra capability to just have a bit more flexibility in your frame rate. You know, say you're playing an X game, just for instance, on a sort of more higher frame rate mode. You're not just going to get, oh, it's 60, oh, it's 30. You're going to get some variation there and just have that freedom to choose. Now, obviously, there aren't that many FreeSync TVs, unfortunately, so obviously this is going to be most valid or valuable, I guess, to people with FreeSync monitors. And obviously a lot of people will play a console on a big TV, but still, it's good that this support is being added, and we may see more FreeSync TVs added to the market. Hopefully we're going to see some sort of G-Sync capabilities, but obviously FreeSync is a royalty-free solution, so obviously, given that, obviously that in combination, excuse me, with the fact that both consoles make use of AMD tech, it's obviously more likely going to be FreeSync supported from here on out. So, for those of you with FreeSync monitors and Xboxes, rejoice, because we're getting some pretty awesome tech coming to the console. Obviously, it's not going to be life-changing, but it's nice. It's the option available to you. I always think more consumer choice is reason to celebrate. So let's move on to our next topic, which is the OnePlus 6. Now, before I go on to the actual details of this, I just want to say that this is a leak, so take it for what it's worth and take it with a pinch of salt, as always, with anything unconfirmed. But we have a Antutu score for the OnePlus 6 today. Now, the score that this phone actually got is pretty damn impressive and beat every available and rumoured device at the moment. It is a score of 27,6510, so 276,510 to say it in a more verbally pleasing way. Now, for those of you who keep your ears to the ground when it comes to all things smartphones, you may recall the recent alleged benchmarks for Xiaomi Mi Mix 2s. And yes, this even beats those. Now, of course, we are talking about a leak versus a rumoured benchmark, so, you know, again, massive, copious amounts of salt must be involved here. But if these leaks are accurate, excuse me, this is definitely big news. Now, these leaks also suggest that we're going to be seeing Qualcomm's Snapdragon 845 featured in the OnePlus 6, which would not be surprising in the slightest. So it's definitely going to be interesting and definitely going to be heating up in the Android market, of course. Well, we have seen various fairly competitive smartphone companies in that particular space. Samsung have been fairly near the front for most of it, so it's definitely going to be interesting to see that particular status quo interrupted somewhat. But of course, this leak could be completely fake, or it could be wrong, or both. We'll just have to wait and see, unfortunately. So let's move swiftly on to Final Fantasy 15 on the PC. Now, DRM is definitely a hot topic, especially for those of us on PC, and the performance impact of various types of DRM has often been tested and, of course, very much discussed. And there was a recent analysis by a fellow from PC Gamer by the name of Peter Durante Thoman. And I'm going to link the article in the description below this video. I suggest you give it a read because there is a huge amount of information. I'm not going to go through all of it here because A, I'd be here till Christmas, and B, that wouldn't be fair because obviously he put in all this work. But what is important to take away from this is that Denuvo DRM has no negative impact on the PC version for Final Fantasy 15. So you might say, okay, that's real great and all, but how did he actually test this? Because obviously, it's not like it came out without DRM and now it's with DRM. It always had DRM when it came out on PC. And basically what he did is he compared 3 scenes in the release in the demo build, which obviously did not feature DRM, given that it was a free update with Final Fantasy 0, I think. Regardless, he compared this with the new release, which of course came out on March the 6th. Now I will show a couple of the graphs that he showed here. And as you can see for yourself, there is no statistical difference in the first scene. The second scene was a touch slower at 3.5%, and the third one was actually 5.6% faster compared to the demo. So, ostensibly, no real difference. There's no impact made by Denuvo DRM on Final Fantasy 15. Now, unsurprisingly, load times were different in comparison to the demo and the full game, but I think the reason for that should be obvious because, you know, you're comparing a demo to a complete product. But the main thing is there's no performance impact according to the report, which is definitely nice because I do sometimes feel when some developers go overboard with DRM, it feels like you're punishing people who paid for your game with this DRM, which can sometimes get in the way of enjoying the game, either through having, like, or you've got to sign into the internet to play the game, and if you lose connection, you get booted out, or performance impacts, or other annoyances like Uplay and so on. So I'm glad to see that this particular piece of DRM does not affect it in this way. So, with all that said, let's finish up with a quick one, but an interesting one nonetheless, regarding Tomb Raider. So, this all came about when someone tweeted to RealTechVR about how the Chrono Trigger port for PC was not great, and how this might mean that, you know, if perhaps we got remasters of Tomb Raider 3 to 5, they might not be great either. And RealTechVR responded, basically saying, well, they said some other stuff, but the long and short of it is, the most interesting part is, quote, TR 1 to 3 remaster for PC are planned for Steam for free, and will require the purchase of the DOS version being sold on Steam, like ZDoom playing Doom games. Also, the PC version will support OpenVR and features a new 3D engine for both 3 games. So basically, TLDR, we are going to be getting a remaster of Tomb Raiders 1 to 3 on the PC on Steam for free for anyone who owns the original game, which, cool, I'm down, because, you know, those are classics and they haven't aged well graphically, so yeah, sign me up. Obviously no real information other than that, but nice to know they're working on it, so keep our eyes peeled for release dates and all that stuff coming up in the next few months, I guess. Anyway, that is me done for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.